Hey, hello. How are you doing today, Anita?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really excited to be here. So for today's show, for the Campfire, we actually don't have any of our usual hosts. So we're going to have our special guests on from the start called Anita. And most people already know her because she's an amazing human being, part of our partnerships team. But I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Anita.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Anita. I'm currently a junior, going to be a senior, studying computer science at the University of Illinois in Chicago. I'll be graduating in the fall, and then I'm also part of the partnerships team. I help with outreach for different nonprofits, and then also for student experience with Bid Project.
I have no idea how you handle your schedule, but you're an amazing person. I'm really excited to get a chance to talk to you today. So the focus for the Campfire show today with you is going to be just like about your experience in the serverless camp and about your project and everything. So, but before we like get into all of that, I do want to get a chance to kind of quick dive into what I'm talking about in the first place for anyone who's listening and doesn't know. The serverless camp is Bit Project's initiative to provide free mentored experiences for technical education to students out there in the world, anyone from any background. So the goal is really just to make sure that we can help, use the experiences that we've gotten as students and make sure to pass that along to other students as well. We've partnered with Microsoft, so we do a lot of stuff with Azure Functions and their DevRel team over there. And we have developed this 4 to 8 week boot camp where you students spend 4 weeks learning about what serverless architecture is, what you can do with it, all sorts of things related to web dev, and using Azure Functions to build really cool projects. And they have a mentor alongside them the entire way that help them come up with really cool project ideas. And then for the latter 4 weeks of the program, they will spend time just developing their ideas and kind of like bringing them to life and presenting them at the very end. So it's a really cool concept. And the mentorship, I know, Anita, you've already gotten a chance to experience this entire thing. Do you want to talk about like a little bit about your project, what got you into the camp, all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. So one of the reasons why I initially joined the camp is just like as a computer science student, I'm always looking to learn new technologies, and especially the cloud isn't something I was too familiar with. I've dabbled a little bit with like AWS, but I was still pretty curious about it. And like coming with trying to learn new technologies, it's often hard to know where to start. And I thought like Bit Project was a good way to kind of have that step-by-step like guidance, but also like this free range to kind of do whatever you want with the new technology. So that's why I applied initially. As far as my overall experience, it was really great. The learning labs kind of set everything up really well, like learning about the basics of Azure and how to navigate. And then my mentor, Marie, really helped me kind of not really like spoon feed me the knowledge, but also help me kind of learn along the way and like show me like how to use a debugger and like what APIs I can use and that sort of thing. And it all kind of came together and really helped me create this cool project. So yeah.
That's super exciting. Could you tell us a little bit more about like who Anita is outside of the serverless camp and outside of coding?
Yeah, sure. So outside of coding, as far as like my hobbies go, I really like painting and like cooking, especially during quarantine. I've really been getting into like all of the like TikTok food crazes and like kind of trying out everything. So that's been pretty exciting. And that kind of goes along with my project idea, why it's all about food. So
I feel that. And like right before the stream backstage, we were just talking to the producer, Mike, about how you have like an air fryer. Do you want to tell us more about that?
yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I love air fryers. I don't have. When I get one, you bet we're gonna be making fries every day. Like nothing's gonna stop me. How did you get into coding in the first place? What got you into it?
Yeah, so initially in high school, I took APCS, so that was kind of my first introduction to it. That actually, I wouldn't say that was like the reason why I wanted to pursue it, computer science. It was actually a little bit frustrating at the start, and I was a bit discouraged, which is why initially when I applied for like my major for colleges, I wasn't a computer science major. I was a chemical engineering major my first year. And I like really quickly realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. So then I kind of gave coding another shot. Like a lot of the people on my mom's side of my family are in the software engineering like industry, so they kind of showed me like these different resources to sort of like try again. And that's when I kind of realized like I like this sort of like problem solving and math aspect of it. And that's when I got back into it, and I switched majors my sophomore year, and here I am.
You're like, here I am. Yeah. That's actually so interesting. I didn't know that you were like originally a chemie major and then you switched over to CS. That's so cool. Yeah, because we've definitely talked a lot about people that have like different backgrounds in different areas. Some people that are just starting off in like high school and early college stages, and some people that have been in completely different industry for like decades and now they're coming back to tech, and how kind of like versatile the camp itself is, because it's not based off of what experience you have, but it's like the whole point is to make sure to personalize your experience. That's why you have your own instructors and you have your own mentors and everyone, that's just kind of like rooting for you and all of that. I know you mentioned that your mentor was Marie. Could you tell us a little bit more about your experience with her, what you learned from her?
Yeah, sure. So she kind of talked about her experience in Microsoft and like working with Azure, which was really cool. Kind of working directly with someone that's making the product that you're like working and building with was extremely exciting. And she really helped me not only like come up with ideas for my project, but also like working with, especially like the VS Code like environment was something I was kind of like a little bit hesitant with using, especially because in school I hadn't had much experience with it. So she kind of walked me through like setting up the debugger and stepping through my code. I know like sometimes as CS majors we're really inclined to just use like print statements to debug all the time, but this was like a good experience to really step through and understand like exactly what's going on at every point of my code. So that was really cool. And this was my first experience actually working with APIs. So she really helped me like walk through the documentation and understand like post requests, get requests, and like using Postman, which I feel like is really essential and just something that everyone should know. And yeah, overall, it was a super cool experience. It wasn't too formal. Like, I feel like we were just talking, like, just casually, and it was really fun working with her.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm glad you had a really good experience with your mentor, and I hope that she, as well as other mentors, decide to come back in the summer. I will ask you a few more questions about the upcoming camp, because I know you're going to be playing a really vital role in that, but we'll first go into your demo. So if you're able to, do you mind screen sharing your project?
Sure.
And kind of telling us a little bit more about the backstory, how you came up with the idea, why you built it?
For sure.
Awesome. Take your time. I know screen sharing can be annoying sometimes.
Share the right tab.
In the meantime, I'm just going to talk about how I love the color of your background, like the walls. It's like a really nice pastel purple. It's so adorable.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, when we moved into this house, I like saw this was the only room with walls colored, so I was like, this is my room.
This is it. It's mine. No one asks questions. Awesome. Do we know if we're able to pull up Anita's slides? Perfect. So go ahead, take it away. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So this is kind of just the first thing you see when you open it. It says food is better together. And with Dine the Distance, the whole point of it is you enter 2 zip codes and then a food cuisine, and it'll recommend restaurants. You can meet halfway. So if I go ahead and just put in some zip codes, I'll start with the Chicago, like Sears Tower zip code, and then the Seattle Space Needle zip code, just as like a couple of random ones.
Mm-hmm.
For the phone number, 26.
Also, disclaimer, these are random phone numbers that we're using from Google Voice because we don't want to give away any personal data.
Yeah, so I'll be sending this one to Shrey, and then the other one's just a random thing. I'm just going to double check it right now. Yes. 532. Okay, yeah. And then do you have any preferences for food cuisine?
Oh gosh. Can it be like any type, or does it have to be a restaurant?
Like any type, like Chinese, Thai, Italian, Mexican, like that sort of thing.
Okay, our producer's saying Korean barbecue, so I guess we'll go with that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it should populate down below.
Awesome. Also, my Wi-Fi is acting up a little bit, so I'm going to try to change it. If I disappear, let me know. Just
Okay.
ooh, there's so many options. Nice.
Yeah, I guess there's a chain restaurant with the same name. But yeah, basically, what I wanted to populate down below was the name of the restaurant, like how you can contact them, the address, so you know where to go, and this button we can use to send directions to the phone numbers that we added up here. So if we wanted to try out, I have no idea, Korean house restaurant, I can send the directions and it should go to Shreya's Google Voice.
Okay, cool. I actually just got the message. Let me try to screen share that for you. Do you see it? Thanks for dying the distance. This is when we were trying it out earlier. This is the one that we just got right now. I'm in Central Time right now. So this is so awesome. Oh my God. Okay, the reason that I love this project so much is because like obviously normally you would just go ahead and Google it, but like when you Google this type of stuff, like there's so much information and so many ads and stuff, and it just like declutters everything. And here's like, listen, if you're hungry and all you want to know about is like the restaurant, that's all I'm gonna give you. I love that. Oh my God, that's so cool. So could you tell us a little bit more about like where this idea came from? And it could just be like something random that you thought of on the spot, but yeah, what was your kind of inspiration behind it?
Sure, yeah. I feel like whenever I go out with friends, like the default is like we're getting food. So it's kind of like always the first thing we need to decide is like where, and it's usually like halfway. So I figured like having an app that would take in 2 locations and recommend things halfway would be like a great solution to that problem. And that's really all it is. Like there's nothing more to it. It's more like we just need food quickly and we need it to be convenient. So I just wanted to create something that would help do that.
Hey, that's fair. I like that. Did your mentor have any role in like helping you either come up with it or like develop it? I know you mentioned that she helped a lot in the process.
Yeah, sure. So my basic like idea with it was like, as I said, just having 2 locations and then restaurants right in the middle using Azure Maps or like Bing Maps API. But she helped me come up with the idea of like also integrating Twilio with it to message people like the addresses, because I know on our phones, like usually when you get a message with an address, there's like automatically a hyperlink you can use to just go straight to that address. It'll take you with Apple Maps or Google Maps. So she thought that was like a good addition to help you like decide on a restaurant, but also like get there. So that's kind of the role my mentor played in with my idea as well.
Awesome. And I'm getting a question here from the producer, but did you face any challenges? And if so, how did you kind of navigate them?
Yeah, sure. So this was my first time building like a full stack web application. So like I'm usually very used to just working with front end, and that was where most of my experience was prior to this. So my mentor kind of gave me the challenge of like first start with back end and then figure out like what your form and make it look pretty and all that. So it was definitely hard like connecting the two at first because I wasn't really familiar with like JSON and Postman and like how things were being sent from the front end to the back end and vice versa. That's really where the debugger came in and like kind of trying to understand my code step by step. And then I'd say another challenge was just reading API documentation. It's not something I've done before, and it was really like intimidating at first. And I wasn't like, there were just so many words on a page, like I had nothing to do with it. So that was definitely something I had to work with her on.
Oh my God. Yeah. Reading API documentation, especially if you're just like doing it on your own for your own project, not for a class or anything, can be so like insanely overwhelming because you're like, it can either be great because you know exactly where to go to and it's written really well, or you're just like reading the wrong stuff and then continue reading the wrong stuff for like the next 5 hours. And then you're just like, oh, I'm going to give up on this. Yeah, that's a real struggle. Could you, for the audiences that are watching this that care more about like what serverless is and don't know what it is, could you tell us how your project deals with serverless?
Yeah, sure. So in the GitHub Learning Lab, I know for at least my iteration, like one of the emphasis like on the serverless project was using HTTP triggers. So that's kind of what I integrated in my project as well. With serverless, I created 2 HTTP triggers. So in this project, when the user inputs their zip code information and then the cuisine, and then they hit find food. That triggers the first one, which I called dine trigger. So what dine trigger did was basically take in that user information and then call the Azure Maps API to get restaurant recommendations. And the second HTTP trigger I made was called message trigger, which when you press send directions, it'll use Twilio to like send the message. So that was how I kind of integrated serverless with this.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned your use of like the Twilio API as well. That's a really popular one. It's really useful as well. The good thing about a lot of these projects is obviously like we're not going to end up using a lot of them in a day-to-day lives, but it could end up becoming like a really cool startup idea, you know, like it doesn't have to just end here. I don't know if we already have links to your blog up to share in our social medias yet, but I know that on our website, if you go to bitproject.org/blog, perfect, there it is, /serverless dine the distance. And even if you just go to /blog, you should be able to see Anita's like step-by-step how she went about building it. And also if you want to go ahead and rebuild her project just to kind of learn from it, you can go ahead and do that. It's really awesome. Could you give us some tips on time management? Like how long did it take for you to build this project and how did you go about kind of like breaking up your schedule to do it?
Yeah, sure. So since this was something like pretty new to me, just like working with the Azure portal, I kind of set off like a lot of time to work on it and tried to break it up into pieces just because I knew like I would be reaching out to my mentor a lot for help. So as I said, I first started off with backend and creating my HTTP triggers the first few weeks, making sure like I had all my API stuff and like information in check and everything was working. And then checking in with my mentor, and then kind of going into front end, making it look nice, and then working with her again to connect the two and then finally deploy it. I'd say I set about like maybe 3 or 4 hours a week, at least for the ending portions of the camp the last 4 weeks, just to make sure I had enough time on it. And then by the end, it was more just like kind of finishing touches and not trying to like build the project the week we needed to present it sort of deal. But yeah, I feel like time management is something I've always like kind of stressed just because I get like really anxious when I don't have everything done in time.
Yeah, it can be really rough, but that was really good advice. What about like in terms of your experience using Azure after the project? I know you're a busy student, so you might not have gotten a chance to build an entire project by itself, but have you thought about using Azure or serverless in general ever in the future?
Yeah, I think I for sure will. I talked to my mentor, Maria, about using like Cosmos DB, and I just took my database systems class, so I feel like I'm familiar enough with it now to like try and integrate that in my project, maybe having some sort of option where you can favorite restaurants and save that information within the app sort of thing. But yeah, I think that like this camp really, it gave like a good intro to Azure, but it really like scratched the surface. Like there seems to be a lot more services that you can use. So I definitely want to try and explore those.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So do we have any other questions? What was like your biggest takeaway from this entire program? I know there was a lot and you've already said a lot. But if you had to name one thing.
The biggest takeaway, I feel like just like understanding what serverless is and what the cloud is. I feel like that's a really like misunderstood buzzword just around the tech community and something people often throw around, but just kind of learning and understanding and working with it like one-on-one was really like beneficial to me. And now it's something I know I can say like I have experience with, and maybe I can try using like other cloud providing services if I'm ever given the chance. So it also showed me like how broad the tech industry is just in general. Like I feel like as CS students we're often like shown like, oh, software engineering is like the only thing you can do, but it really showed like there's a lot of other options to with things.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you mentioned that. I know I kind of want to like start segueing to what you're currently doing and like what you're planning on doing for the summer. So do you want to just go ahead and take it away, talk about your plans for the summer camp and everything?
Yeah, sure. So for the summer camp, as I mentioned before, I'm currently a partnerships consultant, but I'm working with the student experience team for the serverless iteration this summer. So basically what our goal is to make like a positive experience for all students and get feedback as they kind of go through the camp to help better the curriculum and better their experiences with their mentors and just like their interactions with everyone in Bit Project in general, whether that be like hosting social events and getting to know each other, and that sort of thing. So I hope like I can help make everyone's experience as positive as mine was, and hopefully even better.
I'm super excited for it. I know you guys have like a lot of really awesome ideas planned, not just getting the feedback, but also just like doing fun at social events and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be really exciting. This is our producer Mike's favorite question, but is there someone who inspires you or influences you? It can be either technically as a coder, it could be as a student, or just as a person.
Sure, yeah. I think one person who really inspires me is like Sal Khan, who made Khan Academy. I feel like he just in general like tries to level the playing field with education and gives everyone free resources, which I think is pretty cool, and just giving everyone like the same opportunities, just because I know at times it can feel like some people like maybe they have a whole family like with background in tech, and it can feel like you're not really on the same level, but just making everything available is pretty cool to me.
That is a great response, honestly, and I didn't even think of that, but he is like top tier educator from our generation and everything. That's so cool. Okay, so next up we have a really quick game that we're gonna do, and the game itself is basically, I don't even know, do we have a word for this? Like, do we have a name for it? I don't know. But basically, there's going to be a bunch of words, and one by one, word play. Okay. Our producer, Mike, is going to send a word into the public comments. So on the top right of your screen, you see the comments bar. And one of us is going to look at that public word and try to describe it in 10 seconds or less. And after 10 seconds, the other person has to try to guess that word. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull up the 10-second timer over here. I'm going to share that file. Okay, so this is up. And are you looking into the public comments right now?
I am not. Are they?
Okay.
Oh, here they are. Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. I haven't looked at the public comments yet, so I don't know what the word or words are. Do you have any questions about the game?
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask, like, are these like random words, or is there like a category?
I think they're all supposed to be tech related somehow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But you can go ahead and describe them in any way. Just don't say the words themselves, and then I have to guess them after the 10 seconds. Let me know whenever you're ready, and I'll start the timer.
Oh, sure. I actually do not know what this word is.
That's okay. Are there other options out there? If not, Michael can send another word. Should not be a problem. Okay, thanks, Mike. New word sent. You can keep requesting a new word until you have one that you feel confident with. By the way, most of them I also don't know.
Okay.
Half the time I'm like Googling it on the side. Like,
yeah. I might just, because I know this word. I haven't ever like described it before.
I know. It's tough. I think I got like, I don't remember what the word was. I forgot what the word was. Julia came up with this word called Aspernet or something that was supposed to be like the original internet, and I'm like, I don't even know how to spell that. Okay, but yeah, let me know whenever you've got the word and when you're ready to start describing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Google saved me, but yeah.
Google save me is literally my mantra. Okay, I'm gonna start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so it's like an interactive experience where you have a real world environment where the objects are like enhanced with a computer generated picture that you see.
It's a real world. Oh, wait, what? Were they computer generated picture that you see? Oh my God. Wait, I'm so stupid.
Like I could give an example. But
yeah, go ahead and give an example.
Like with Pokemon Go with the like Pokeball.
Okay, I'm just gonna guess. I have no idea what the word is, and I completely cheated by asking you to explain it further. I'm gonna say AI. I know that's not it, but like,
It's a augmented reality. So like,
oh yeah, no way. I would not have gotten that at all.
like I know what it is, but I've never had to describe it.
Yeah. Dude, that was a good description though. Congrats. I'd say that's a point to you. That was a good description. I'm just not smart enough for this game. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead, go back into the private chat, and I'll look into the public chat now. And are you there?
Yep, I'm in the private chat.
I can't talk. Okay, I'm ready, Mike. Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna start the timer. So it's kind of like a Mission Impossible, but if it had to be like a software, but like not soft, something else. I said the word.
Not soft.
Yeah.
I
messed that up.
Hard. Hardware, but you said not soft.
Yeah, you're close, but think about the first half of what I said.
Mission Impossible. So that movie has like spies.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a tech word with the word spy.
No, you said it. That's literally it. Like that, but halfway. Just try to piece it together.
Spy. Hardware.
Okay, but remove part of that. You don't need a part of that.
Spyware.
Yeah. You got it. Oh my god. Okay, these are really good words, but low-key, I would never guess them. We're not smart enough. Oh, wait. I'm not ready, Michael. Okay, I'm going back into the private chat. You can go back into yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. Oh, okay.
And I just want to say it is completely okay to Google things because that's literally the day-to-day life of an engineer.
Of course.
You can't get no shade for Googling. In fact, this is best practices. If you don't know something before asking someone, go ahead and Google it. That's good. We're teaching good things.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of like how to say this without, because I really want to use one of the words in the word, but okay, yeah, I think I got it.
Ready? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go.
Okay, so it's when you're building a project and you want like just the basic starting version of it with enough features to understand what the project is, but not like the final product.
Oh, is it the MVP?
Yep.
I only know this because Daniel like drills that word to all the students. I need your MVP. When you're in the camp and you start developing your project, there's going to be a part-time during like the second or third week where we're going to need to start seeing that. So that's a great word. Good explanation too. Okay, I'm going to start the timer again and I'm going to head over to the public chat. Okay, cool. I'm ready. Mike, whenever you are. Okay, girl, I don't know how to describe this word. Okay. Can I get a different word? I don't know if I can describe it well enough.
What was it?
It was spoofing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Michael, we're not smart enough for this. Okay. I think I could do this. Are you ready, Anita?
Yep.
Okay. So it's 3 words, and one of them is kind of like Wi-Fi, but it's not Wi-Fi. It's like the whole thing. And yes, that's it. That's all I got. It's like when stuff in your house is technically connected.
Like internet or?
Yeah, that's the first word, but it's 3 words.
Oh, Internet of Things.
Yes, congrats, you got it. I 100% always go over the time limit. I need to have like some sort of a I need to make a version of this timer that like beeps really loudly so I know to stop.
Stop.
Okay, cool. We'll do one more word. We're like way over the time limit, so you can go ahead and describe. Oh wait, was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Alrighty. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I got
Ready?
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Starting it.
It's like a browser that's not Chrome and not Microsoft. It's the one with the like animal.
Firefox.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for making that one easy. Okay, awesome. Well, that's it. That's all we have for today's show. I just want to make a rundown. We did get a chance to share your blog and everything, so that's perfect. Thank you, Anita, so much for joining us today. It was really fun to get a chance to talk to you about your project, your experience, everything, but also how awesome your plans are for the upcoming summer, because you are going to be super important in making sure that our students have a good time. So if there are any students that end up watching this recording later, Anita is going to be like your lifesaver in the summer. But yeah, that's all we have for today. We will be posting more information about next week's guest on our social media. So go ahead and check out our social media. Go ahead and give us a follow. I believe on Instagram, we're bitproject.org, and on Twitter, we are bitprj, because we couldn't get the actual username there. That's okay. I'm not salty. Anita, do you have any last words?
Not really. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun today, and yeah, I'm super excited for this summer and all the new students coming in. So.
Yes, I'm really excited too. Awesome. Thank you so much. See you guys next week. Bye.